Today, we're going to break down a really systematic, engineered approach to achieving something that, let's be honest, a lot of us want but struggle to really define: true financial independence. But first, let's kick things off with a question that gets right to the heart of all that anxiety around money. You know the feeling when things are just chaotic, when you're living paycheck to paycheck, or you feel like you're just constantly putting out financial fires? Is that a personal, moral failure on your part? Well, the answer this approach gives is a big, definitive no. Financial instability isn't some sign of weak character. It's a sign of a weak system. It is an engineering problem, and that means it can be solved with a better blueprint. So where does this framework come from? We're analyzing the 3 stages, 13 steps to financial independence, which was developed by Tamir Kaham. He's the originator and the architect of this entire strategy. He's also the creator of the YouTube channel, The Golden Path to Financial Independence, and the official Hebrew translator of The Richest Man in Babylon. It's this specific blend of modern systems engineering with ancient financial wisdom that really makes this approach so powerful. And in this explainer, we are walking through the entire strategy. So what does that actually mean to treat your finances like a system design problem? It really just means stepping back and looking at the entire machine of your financial life. You know, the inputs, the outputs, and all the little places where things can break down. Okay, so if we put on that systems engineering lens, we can see our financial life as a complete system. Your income, that's an input. Your expenses, those are loads on the system. Debt creates friction. And relying on a single paycheck, well, that's what an engineer calls a single point of failure. See, these aren't personal failures, they are design flaws. And the great thing about design flaws is that they can be fixed with better structure and better sequencing. So if it's a design problem, what's the new blueprint look like? Well, it's a really clear 3-stage plan. And here it is, the complete map. Now, I know this looks like a lot to take in at once, but the key thing to notice here is that this isn't just a collection of random tips like save more money. No, this is an end-to-end structured system, and it's designed to move you from one state to the next in a really logical sequence. All right, that map can look a little intense, so let's use a simple analogy to make it all click: a rocket launch. Stage 1 is all about building that psychological foundation. That's like preparing the launch pad. Stage 2 is about building financial resilience. That's the launch sequence itself, with concrete actions like building your emergency fund. Stage 3 is all about growth, acquiring assets. That's achieving orbit, when you start to do things like open your first investment account. And that final piece, step 13, think of that as the guidance system running in the background through the entire journey. But you know, before any of these mechanics can actually work, this framework demands something huge: a fundamental software update in your own mind. And honestly, this is probably the most important part of the entire system. This slide illustrates that update perfectly. Most of us, we operate with the employee mindset. We're always asking, how can I trade my time for more money? The asset owner mindset flips that question. It asks, what can I own that works for me even when I'm not working? This shift from selling your time to owning systems is the engine that powers everything else. Here's another really critical distinction this blueprint makes. Financial independence and wealth are not the same thing. They're just not. Financial independence, or FI, is simply when your passive income from your assets covers your living expenses. It's all about freedom of time. Wealth, on the other hand, is accumulation far beyond what you need. So here's the crucial point. The strategy says to prioritize achieving FI first. It's the stable foundation that you can then build wealth on top of later. So, once you've made that core identity shift and you've actually followed the blueprint, what's the end result? Well, you've pretty much installed a brand new, custom-built operating system for your financial life. And the transformation, it's pretty profound, really. Before, your financial life might feel chaotic, fragile, dangerously dependent on that one paycheck. After you implement this system, it becomes organized, prepared, and resilient, supported by multiple income streams. You basically go from being a passenger to being the pilot of your own financial journey. And hey, remember that rocket launch analogy? Well, step 13, continuous learning, that's your guidance system. It is not the last box you check off a list. It's the parallel process that keeps the entire system on course through all 3 stages. It's that commitment to always be learning and adapting. Okay, now, it is very important that we pause here for a moment. This content is strictly for educational purposes. It is not personalized financial advice, and there are absolutely no guarantees of results. Your success depends on your execution. You are responsible for consulting qualified professionals and for making your own decisions. All right, with that important disclaimer in mind, let's just quickly recap the big ideas from this framework. First, reframe any financial instability as a system design problem. Second, know that the solution is a structured, 3-stage, 13-step blueprint. Third, the foundational change you have to make is that mental shift from an employee to an asset owner. And finally, remember that financial independence is the primary goal. Wealth is a secondary outcome. So, at the end of the day, this explainer has laid out the blueprint for you. The design is all there. But that leaves one final and honestly the most important question of all. The blueprint exists. Will you be the builder? If you want to go deeper, and I mean really dig into each of these 13 steps, you can find the complete audio series for Deep Dive Golden Path, and you can check out visual breakdowns of the whole strategy on the YouTube channel, The Golden Path to Financial Independence. All content is copyrighted by Tamir. The Golden Path and the Golden Path to FI are trademarks of Tamir.